The Share Pickers Weekend Podcast with Justin, Paddy, Peter and Steve. The content of this podcast is not intended as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. People in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Welcome to the Weekend Podcast. I'm joined by Peter and Steve. Paddy again is not in, but it's more usual now that Paddy's not here. It'd be really odd if he was here, to be honest.
Yeah.
When we started
You
this
need to
podcast,
re-record that start. The
yeah,
intro
we
bit
will.
needs to be- Yeah, Pete and Steve, not Paddy.
Yeah, Paddy in absentia.
Quite.
In absentia. So when we started this podcast, guys, many years ago now, it's probably 7 years now, I was the only guy involved with an other half. Now we're all coupled up, aren't we? Hey, it's Pete with Steve. Paddy's got Barry.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good.
There we are.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So, no comment. All right, so this is the messages on the WhatsApp group. I'm home now, so I can do 6, but I have the RAC guy on the way as my car is broken down. I say, what's the ticker? Breakdown, Steve says. Pete says, oh no, what's the problem? I say it's broken down. Bugger, Pete says. And then Steve says, redness around the genitals. And he said, and Pete said, the RAC guy's going to help with that. Is it not just lipstick? Oh, the car problem, Steve says. I've got a power steering issue. Just won't start, though. Then Peter says, that sounds like 2 problems. Yeah, it does.
I'm quite intrigued by that, yeah.
So have
Get my problems mixed up.
Have you had issues with this before, Steve?
What, the redness or the car?
The car, yeah.
Okay, right. Just clarifying.
It's a family podcast. The family
No, I haven't.
Sit in the
Annoyingly, I had a job this morning, and the clients turned up at my house because I was going to drive us all up to Monmouthshire, and we got in, and the car wouldn't start.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, hop in, guys. Right. Oh, should we go in your car?
It literally was that. I was like, can someone else drive? I was like, yeah.
And you had all your kit, though, did you? You know.
It was only 1 bag. So
all the gimp suits and the lube and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's so embarrassing having to get that.
Family show.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do, right, as Steve said, the RAC guy is going to be there in quarter past 6. It's now 2 minutes past. So I'm going to go through 4 companies, right?
Right.
And just give us, how many times? 3 minutes on each, all right? 3 minutes, all I need, yeah? Okay, all right, let me just get this up first.
So put a timer on.
Yeah, put a timer on. Okay. So let's start off with XP Factory, okay? No, in fact, no. Let's start off with stock Steve hasn't got, that I nagged him the week before last to buy a little bit in. A little bit, because it's essentially huge, potentially huge, and it could change your portfolio. Now, Steve, what is investing about? I understand it's about being sensible, and what you should have is a little fund for that, right? But then, as I said, get your age, add half to it. That's the percentage of money you should put in a sensible fund. Sensible for retirement. But what is life about if not to take a little bit of risk with the hope of getting a little bit of reward? What is life about if it's not about that? Now, if you're investing in micro, small cap, nano cap stocks, what you want is, a diversification of sorts. But within that portfolio, there's room for one that can make your portfolio, transform it wealth-wise, right? Now, that stock, Steve, is Destiny Pharma. It is literally has a pathway to 20 bags. Do you know how much that is? Do you know how much 20 bags is, Steve?
Do you know, I've never heard this from you before. It's really bizarre. It's like a brand new thing that you're saying.
It's a brand new. I know, but still, I keep telling you to put a little bit in. A little bit. It's one of those stocks you can put a little bit in, not enough to worry about. But if it does what it says on the tin, I haven't got a tin, then it will transform your portfolio and it will make you richer in retirement. And I mean, yes, the safe way is the fund way, and you've got to have that as a backbone to your portfolio. But let me just say one thing, right? They announced some results, right, from what's called XF73 Dermal. This is just part of the pipeline of the second asset. It's not the second asset. The second asset, big one, is XF73 nasal. It's a nasal sort of gel that kills anti-resistant bacteria, right? But this one is for skin infections. So they tested out where the formulation was 100 times more effective at killing MRSA than the standard treatment, and is 10 times more potent. So they use 10 times less of it to get that effect. The global market is valued at 3.4 billion. And is supposed to grow by 6% CAGR, compound annual growth rate, right? I'm going to say, people don't understand this. Destiny Pharma, and this is not the main asset, right? This is just a pipeline. Destiny Pharma is a rare opportunity on AIM. Like there's 3 separate brokers. I keep repeating this. See 600% upside on their first asset, NTC M3, a phase 3 ready asset, who they've got a partner with. It'll cost them no money now. It goes to phase 3, then go to commercialisation. The research on that one above, I was talking about earlier, right? It's part of the XF73 platform, referring to XF73 dermal treatment. Now, on that platform is a nasal treatment, also going to phase 3. The company's in active talks to get partnered on that, right? It's wholly owned by Destiny Pharma, and the market potential is $2 billion. That's twice NTCDM3, okay, which the targets are based on. That's already 600% higher on that one target. Okay? So if you add in XF, you can more than triple that target. Then add the pipeline, you probably get around about 10 quid a share from where we are. It sounds nuts, but that's what happens in bear markets, and liquidity dries up and you have a change of board and all that stuff. But there are a class board on now, top guys on the case.
That's 3 minutes.
Oh, okay, I'll take 2.5 minutes for the next one. Right? Listen, so let me just point out, this is not like an oil and gas stock, right? Whose upside is based on 3D seismic images of maybe some gases down there or 1 billion barrels of oil. Because then, there's a 10 in 1 chance of getting that oil or gas. You know, if you find it, if you have to get it out, and then all that, and you have a debt funding and all that, doesn't happen. This is about a clinical need. They've got data on humans proving that these treatments are better than the standard treatment, and all they do is go to phase 3. So it comes with risk, yet, but not a lot of risk, really, because they've got a lot of data on it. As I said, Destiny Pharma is a rare opportunity on AIM. Put a little bit of money in it, just enough that doesn't bother you, just forget about it. Forget about it, yeah? Just forget about it. And if it comes good, it literally transform your portfolio. Transform it. Like I say, even if you put, I don't know what your portfolio is, but let's say, for example, I'm over again, for round figures, let's say you've got a £100,000 portfolio, okay, you put 1% in, right? That 1% could double your portfolio value. That's the potential. Okay? So it's worth the risk, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Do your own research.
Don't. Just rely on my research. yeah. Do your own research. So
I'm going to have to go, sorry.
Tell the RAC man, you're on a podcast and this is very, and you're talking about it. Give him, Steve, tell him about Destiny Pharma. Say, listen.
I'll tell him about it, yes.
Just wink, just DEST. I'm on a podcast with an investing genius. Destiny Pharma.
I'm back on the call before you finish, so.
Okay, so are you into stocks and shares, mate? Just got a cracking tip.
Anyway,
okay, I will do. I'll be back. I'll hopefully only be 5-10 minutes, but I'll be back. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You got a bit of that anyway, Pete, haven't you? That's the main thing.
What, redness around the? Oh no. Yes, I have. Yes, I got
there was people. I mean, I understand when it rises. It rose last week quite quickly or whatever, and people took a bit of profit on it. I think it's me saying no. You don't take profit on this on 40%. No. This could be a 2,000%er. So why take the risk? Anyway, do you see, I don't understand what's going on at XP Factory. That's so annoying. So bloody annoying. Do you see the trading update for half year?
Yep. Yeah, very, very good. Very positive. In this climate, incredible, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but like I said, when we've been there, the demographic don't seem to have any sense of a cost of living crisis, you know? Most of them live with their parents. They don't have mortgages. They don't have all that. All they work for is fun time, beer money, isn't it? Really, most of that age group, that's all they're concerned about. Will I have enough money to go out this weekend? Yeah, you don't pay a lot of rent. You don't pay hardly any rent. Probably you don't spend a lot.
Well, no, I mean but I don't know. It's a mixed demographic, quite a broad demographic, which is good, isn't it? It's really positive. But I think there's an element that even in this crisis, people need a light relief. Don't they? Need things to do. They believe socialising is still fairly important, and people still do it. So
but fairly for that age group, it's all it ever is. That's all you want to do at that age is go out and have parties. In fact, would you remember when that was a good time? Actually, we went at a good period of our lives when we were in Red Dragon FM, because we were all pretty much within 5-10 years of each other. Aren't we? On the majority, there's a couple of oldies in there, wasn't it? Sheila.
Yeah.
Remember Sheila?
Oh, yeah.
And Digger. Digger's in charge of Sheila. But Digger acted older than Sheila. He was more sensible.
Digger was like 25.
But
yeah.
you can tell by what generation Sheila is just by the name Sheila, can't you? There are not many Sheilas around these days, apart from in Australia. But yeah, so it's that kind of generation of age group where you just basically live for the weekend. The weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in a job we enjoyed, so it didn't matter. But you'd love the weekend. You all got socialising, and all we had was bars and nightclubs. Now you could go out and have a bit of fun, playing games, flirting with the opposite sex.
Oh, right. Or not. All the same sex.
What? No.
No?
Why would you do that for?
Well,
Flirting with the same sex? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, it's up to you, I suppose. It's not compulsory.
Same sex? Any sex? These days, there's can be anything, can it? You know, what the heck you're flirting
The whole
with?
range.
Yeah. You can identify as anything you want to.
I think we're going off. We're going down a really weird alley.
Sorry, I'm wasting time there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they released a trading update for the first 6 months of the year. And I did say on Twitter, to sum it up in a word, boom, in brackets, battle bar. But group turnover, 18.8 million, up 131%. Double. Now, of course, there's a lot of that's through acquisition or building out their estate there. So let's look at the like-for-like, shall we? Double-digit like-for-like sales growth delivered across both owner-operated brands. 19% for Boom and 20% for Escape Hunt. Owner-operated site level EBITDA, 3.8 million, up 245%. Continued high ratings from customer reviews and record pre-bookings for corporate sales provides confidence underpinning expectations of full year. And I don't see any slowdown in this area at all, because it's one of these things that, well, you get a decent crowd most weekends, and then you come towards Christmas and all that stuff, and people want to book it, don't they, just for events and stuff.
Yep.
What are you listening to in your... You got earpods in or something?
No.
Oh, I can hear my voice going back to me.
Can you?
Yeah.
No. Maybe it's a bit loud.
Yeah, I can
Is that Steve's left his... Is he on?
Oh, maybe.
No, I don't know.
And anyway, the outlook on XP Factory, they're only they're valued for next year 5 times EBITDA. That's nuts. This is a fast growth. I genuinely think, stayed at this price, it'll be taken out by a bigger leisure company looking for growth, buying growth. That's what bigger companies do in a sexy sector of leisure, you know. Because there's sentiment on leisure stocks all time low, but that's including cinemas and pubs and restaurants. Hang on a second, this is a different kind of leisure. It's new, it's exciting leisure. So its valuation is lumped in with that. I don't think it should be at all. But anyway, go on. What are you going to say?
I was going to ask, what a fair valuation would be in terms of multiples of EBITDA for a business like that.
The broker's got a 12-month target of 32 pence, so that's not too bad. That's a 12-month target, and obviously beyond that, I mean, the growth still goes up and up. I mean, they're going to do 42 million in revenue this year, and that goes up to I think over 50 million next year. So it continues. It's a doubler at least, and it's a safe doubler, you know.
Yeah.
Paddy just said, "I'm trying to join, guys, but my Mac won't let me." Why is he wearing a Mac in this weather? Oh yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. Though. Anyway, they said they're delighted with the trading performance, the outlook. This is, and of course they got that forward booking. Do you know what? This is a very interesting day. What car you haven't got an EV, have you?
No.
Electric vehicle. I've been looking. Have you been googling a little bit, looking for EVs?
No. I
have, you see. I find here. I mean, if you look at Google Trends, EV search of vehicles such as going up and up, and they will do by 2030. You're not allowed to buy a petrol diesel car. I was listening to worth listening to this morning, Wake Up to Money podcast on BBC Radio 5 Live, and they had a guy there who's in charge of Moto at the service stations, you know, and he was. And if you go back 5 years, how many chargers would you see in a service station?
Yes, not many.
One maybe, I don't know, if that. But now, of course, they've got a pledge, I think government pledge, that said to them, you have to put 6 high-speed chargers in all your service stations by the end of this year. And that's fine, we've got that. But trouble is now, we haven't got enough power. And he's saying there will not be enough power. Most of our chargers are there, ready to have power, but they can't connect it up, and it says they're not, dedicating enough power to service stations, and that's holding back the EV industry a bit because there's obviously range anxiety, which is very interesting to realise that the whole power thing is huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You think, wow.
So is this moving on to your third stock?
Yes. In fact,
Right.
2 stocks, right?
Right.
So, a new one, Techmar Group.
What's the ticker?
It's a TGP, all right?
Okay.
Now, a while back, they ran into a bit of trouble with... they floated like backing... Not many years back, but let me just... TGP. They floated, right, literally back in almost the bull market, 2019, at 150 or 140 odd share. And now they're 11 pence a share, 11.5 pence a share, right? They run into... They're quite... capital intensive, and when you get companies like that, then you raise lots of money. But you try and raising money into a downward market, it's very hard. So they got to the stage earlier this year they put themselves up for sale, strategic review, which means they're desperate. And I've seen many companies do this from Gfinity, and sometimes it's literally it's a lifeline, and if you don't get it, you're in trouble. And Gfinity didn't get that; they closed it down, shut it down. The strategic review. Anyway, these guys got 2 big investors come on board who've given them an £18 million convertible loan note, and they raise money. And what they do is, let me just categorise it properly. What they do is, bear with me. And what they do is, they've got 2 divisions essentially: offshore energy and marine divisions that provide a range of engineering services and technologies to support and protect offshore wind farms and other offshore energy assets, and the marine infrastructure like subsea cables, umbilical and flexible pipe protection systems. So anything you have to understand, these wind farms obviously, they're out there in the sea. How do you connect electricity to the land? Well, by big cables. How do you protect the cables?
Cable.
Yeah, that's it. And how do you protect the cables? Well, you get an engineering company like Techmar, which are experts in this. They're a 16 million market cap. They released an interim results out recently, and they're doing 17.7 million in revenue. Now, the 60 million mark, this is for half a year, this is. With strong growth across offshore, up 37%, and marine and civil, 35%. So that, when they did a strategic review, 2 big investors come on board who are very experienced in this area, in wind farms, all that stuff. And so they said then, expect business to break even at an adjusted level for the current year, with revenue in the region of 40 million, 40, with over 90% already secured. Record order book of 26 million as at the end of May 2023. They've got a bit of debt, but... they are, and I don't know if you've seen that today, one of the biggest offshore wind farms as in Dogger Bank, North Sea. And the stats on this are phenomenal. These offshore wind farms are big, aren't they? Some of them, they're huge, hundreds of them. But first turbines being installed at the world's biggest offshore wind farm in North Sea. It's the energy firm SSC, and they say they're a $9 billion pounds investment wind farm. It'll be more than double the size of the next largest offshore wind farm operating today, and capable of powering the equivalent of 6 million British homes. Right. So if you look at the interim results, Techmar, they're already working on Dogger Bank. They're doing all the stuff as there. So they've got lots of contracts. I think they've got 167 contracts in Dogger Bank. So they've got plenty of work there. And let's be honest, maintenance on these things will keep them busy for a long time, but they're on many things. So, so they, in December 2022, select design, manufacture and supply 172 protection systems for Dogger Bank C offshore wind farm, following previously announced Dogger Bank A and B contracts, which when delivered expected to be the world's largest global offshore wind farm. That's that interim.
Okay.
So they're into all that stuff. But not only that, you're thinking, okay, well, if you've got an EV car, where do you know? How do you know that these if you're travelling down from Manchester to London or something, you need to charge, and you put in the service station, and these EV chargers haven't got power to them. How are you going to know which one's working and which not? And do you know how you do that?
Don't know.
You get ZapMap.
Right.
Who owns ZapMap?
It's not TGP, is it?
No. 49.9% owned by Good Energy.
Oh, okay.
It's the number 1 EV map in the UK. Right. So this is a problem for a long time. I didn't realise it was such a big problem. I thought, wow, that's amazing. So this tells you it's like Google Maps basically for EV chargers. Tells you what charger it is. You can pay through it, all that stuff. and the availability. That's going to get busier and busier and busier, I think, as more people do it with EVs. And if you look at Good Energy, it's a crazy company. It's crazy valuation. They're the only company now that have a 5-star Trustpilot rating for energy supplies to domestic customers. The only company. That says a lot, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
They've got 19 million in cash. They're 29 million market cap. So literally, with their assets and all that, they have assets of their net asset value is about 39 million. And literally got 19 million in cash. Profitable. They just bought a solar business. They've just bought a heat pump business. And in fact, if you go to their Twitter stream, very interesting about how powerful, how effective heat pumps are. So you get 3 times the energy coming out of a heat pump you put into it. With gas and electric bodies, you get between sort of 80 and 90%. But that times 3 times. How does that work? That's genius, isn't it?
It is, but then on the domestic market, it's just the installation cost, I think, at the moment that make it kind of...
You have to change your system a little bit, don't you? But they if you look at their Twitter feed there, it talks about how their pumps are the best around.
Right.
And I mean, I believe them because
they would say that, though.
Yeah, no, but they got a 5-star rating. It's like that, there's not much room for
they
error.
give themselves
when you
a 5-star rating.
No, Trustpilot. There's not much room for error when you have a 5-star rating. You've got to be spot on. And when they said, they acquired 2 businesses recently, one's heat pumps, one's solar, and they themselves have 5-star ratings because they said you've got to keep up that kind of very good service. And I mean, it's an amazing story. Just spend, if you've got half an hour, Pete, now this evening, right? And you're not going to do some kissing and cuddling. Then what you can do is just go on their website and look at all the independent suppliers. So they supply obviously 100% renewable energy. These are, I mean, Techmar and Thing, for example, are huge growing areas. They're not going to stop growing either. These areas they're in. The money's not going to stop pouring into it, is it? People are going to go for renewables. It's all that.
Yeah.
And so, so just look at all the independent people who supply power to Good Energy. They're like people from Wales who've got little hydropowers. They supply into their grid, and then people who buy off Good Energy, of course, come from UK-based renewable people.
Okay, and then in terms of competition for Good Energy, quite a lot, I guess.
Yes, there are a lot, but none of them have a 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. None of them do. There's a lot of greenwashing going on. They'll say that you are getting 100% renewable energy. Green Energy is, and they've been around for 20 years doing this. They're way ahead of everyone else. Yeah. But just talk about Zap.
So just out of interest, how many 5-star reviews have they got? Like, you've got 5-star reviews, but they've only got 3 people that reviewed them. So okay.
Anyway, let's have a look. Hang on, let's have a look, shall we? No, they wouldn't say.
It's 12 people, Pete. Okay.
Yeah, hang on, let me scroll down then. Let me see. Me see. Heat pumps very efficient. This in there. Shot day. Let's scroll down. Let's have a look. They've got 8,900 reviews. 5. Well, actually, this is 4.8. But
okay, that's a big enough.
Yeah, so it's right up, but, yeah. So what's up, Steve? What's up on your thing?
No, it's Paddy. Paddy's in.
Paddy.
Hey guys.
Hi.
We're finishing now, Pad. You knew that.
I've been here for 12 minutes.
You knew that. You knew it. You and your Mac. Why are you wearing a Mac, Pad? It's not the right for that.
When I wrote that in the message, I thought Justin's going to make a rain Mac joke.
That means we're very tuned in.
I wrote that down and put it in an envelope.
Yeah, that's means we're very tuned in, very similar sense of humour, Pad. It's very highly tuned to wordplay. So, Paddy, where have you been? Have you been abroad really or not?
Benidorm.
No, have you been to Benidorm?
Yeah, I really have been to Benidorm.
Why did you go there?
Just to see it. Just to marvel at it. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Have you been? I actually thought it was okay, yeah.
There we are. See, Paddy's not almost the last guy I'd expect to see going to Benidorm. Goes there, so you can never predict things, and he quite likes it. I
was expecting a lot worse, I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe the expectation in my head suggested that it was going to be really bad, and actually it was. I thought it was quite posh.
It was just bad. It's not really bad.
No, it wasn't even bad. I mean, there were a lot of mobility scooters, but that doesn't make a place bad necessarily.
Well, some of those people are switched on. They go out there, they live out there, they realise they go there, and it's nice, isn't it? They live here, and they live there, and that's it. And then, if you're going to, let's be honest, if you're going to go somewhere to die, it's got to be something quite nice. So there's people, you've got to be a little bit discerning. How is that then? Why is it? Are there mobility scooters out there Well, how does they get out there? How do they live there? I don't understand. They still get disability checks from the UK and they live in Benidorm, do they?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but they there are double ones as well for for couples to be on them at the same time, which was quite cute.
Do you use that?
Yeah, it's actually really nice. I was expecting it to be like a sort of like seedy.
That's why you went, was it?
Did you go to Faliraki or
He went there, expecting to be seedy, and he wasn't. Very disappointed.
I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
There's nothing seedy about it at all. It's quite posh, yeah.
Oh, there we are, Pat. Well, there we are. Well, you've often been looking for somewhere else to live, apart from London.
I didn't expect it to be Benidorm.
Yeah, no, didn't you? Think of West Wales, very rural, rustic area, no neighbours, but you've just decided on Benidorm.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Very similar to Croydon in many ways.
Yeah.
Similar vibe. So it felt like home.
How long did you spend there?
3 hours.
Okay. Hey, no, seriously, how long did you spend there?
Yeah, 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah.
How do you get a true taste of a place in 3 hours? Can you really?
Oh, I don't know. I think you can get a good vibe for it. I don't know. We might have missed something, but yeah.
That's quite an extensive holiday you've gone there.
I got a decent flavour of it.
I'm just wondering, right? You never see Paddy and Steve on the same podcast.
Good point.
It's amazing that. You happened to start the podcast, Pad. Steve slipped out because the RSC man was there. Then you came in. What's going on here?
That's dodgy.
Yeah.
Good. Just to recap then, Pad, what you've missed, there's 4 stocks you should invest in. It's XPF, Destiny Pharma, TGP, and Good Energy.
Yeah. Listen back to it, Pad. Okay.
I'll listen back.
Destiny Pharma, so you should put a little bit in and forget about it. It could be literally, 2,000%. It's a 20 bagger.
It's very much my investment policy.
Yeah.
Stick some money in. Forget about it.
Put it in the drawer. Forget about it. That's it. I don't know what you put in the drawer. But just people say that. Put it in the drawer and I'll forget about it. Yeah.
Has anything happened over the last week since I was away?
Yes, we covered that, Pad. Why don't you listen back to the podcast? We're coming to the end now, you see. What you've done is, literally, you've walked in and last orders have been called. Yeah? So you can't sneak up the bar now and say, can I have a pint, please, mate? But you know what time we shut. Sorry, Pad, didn't you?
Yeah,
can I just have a pint, though? Can I just have a pint? Because, it's a bit late. I had a problem with my raincoat. I couldn't get it on. Come, Pad, we open tomorrow. Okay, same time. Come before the bell. All right? Oh, all right.
Okay.
All right then. Cheers, Pad.
Okay.
Evening, lads. Make it home. Make glasses to the bar, please. Make your way home. Thank you very much. Okay. Have a nice evening. Please be quiet. Neighbours complain. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Share Pickers Weekend Podcast with Justin, Paddy, Peter and Steve. The content of this podcast is not intended as investment advice. It is for information purposes only. People in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.